So today, what we are going to be doing is I am Professor Dominate, and I am going to be teaching you guys how to start content creating. For the past week or so, I have been making this PowerPoint, making this presentation, putting basically everything that I know about content creation into a PowerPoint slide for you guys. I've been watching a lot of Streaming University, many of you guys saw that. Where he was fully giving really good classes, really good information. The thing is, I was like, okay, Ludwig is a massive streamer. He's at the top of the game, and he's talking to people who are new, but they're already kind of big, you know, they're already sort of in the mainstream of content creation, even though they're pretty much brand new, a lot of them. And so I was like, alright, I'm not at the top of the game. I'm a Twitch affiliate, which is like in the mid-range, right? But I was like, oh, I could teach people who have either never, have no idea what content creation is, but are interested in learning about it, people who haven't started making content, but maybe they want to start making it, and even people who have been, doing it for a while, maybe they're around my size, but they are trying to, just get a little bit better with it, you know? Let's just get straight into it. So firstly, these are my qualifications. I've been making content, I've been streaming for over 3 years now. I'm a Twitch affiliate. And today, these are we got 4 sections of the lecture that we've got going on today, alright guys? What is content creation? So this is for people who have basically no idea about the internet, about content creation. Maybe someone's mum's heard their kid talking about content creation, streamers, stuff like that, and they just want to know a bit about what it is. Just sort of a basic sort of overview. And then we've got, should I become a content creator? This is for people who have maybe been thinking about it, they watch a lot of content, they're like, oh, maybe I could do this, you know? And then we've got, how do I become a successful content creator? So this is going to be everything that you need. This is for ideation. This is going to be for actually streaming, for making YouTube video, making short form, all of that sort of stuff. And then finally, we've got, what do I do once I start gaining traction? So now, let's get started. What is content creation? Now, content creation, the definition that I have come up with, this is my own definition that I wrote. It is the act of making something with the intent of it being consumed by an audience. So pretty big overview, right? If you think about it, film directors, they're content creators, right? They are making something, in this case a movie, with the intent of it being consumed by an audience, right? Everybody who's going to go watch that movie. Chefs are also content creators. They are making something, in this case food, with the intent of it being consumed by an audience, which is everybody that comes into their restaurant and orders their food, right? And then even your mum, taking pictures of the family, posting it on social media, sending it to her friends, right? She is a content creator. She is making something, in this case, pictures, videos of the family on holiday, you know, visiting Uluru, visiting Sydney, whatever, and she is made with the intent of it being consumed by an audience, right? Usually her little group of friends, maybe she posted on her Facebook profile, whatever. These are all examples of content creation, okay? Now, online content creation is different, okay? This is also my definition, right? The act of making something and posting it online, so this is how it's different to regular content creation, is you're posting it online. And because you're posting it online, that is then making it available to anyone to see, right? If you post it online, anybody can view it, anybody can see it. So because you're trying to post it online, you're likely doing it with the intent of it being consumed by a large audience, okay? The internet has millions of people on it, so anything that you're posting online, you're probably doing it with the intent of a lot of people seeing it. So that is what online content creation is. Now, what does a content creator do? Okay, this might be a question that your family members ask you if you are talking about them, about maybe I want to be a content creator, maybe I want to be a streamer, right? This is probably a question that your grandmother, your mother asks you, okay? What does a content creator do? And the answer to that is, it depends on the platform, okay? So if your kid, your niece, nephew, younger sibling, or whatever, they go, I do Twitch, or they say, I'm a streamer, what that means is they are filming themselves live, doing an activity, and they're having real-time interactions with people. That's what it means when they say, I'm a streamer. is it's live action. They're having interactions with people. It's not pre-recorded. If they say, I'm a YouTuber, that means that it is pre-recorded, they are filming themselves, they are producing videos, and they are editing those videos, right? So that's how that's different from Twitch. If they say, I'm a TikToker, that means that they are filming, producing, and editing shorter videos, specifically designed to be viewed on a phone. Okay, so that's how that's different from YouTube. They are both, they're still filming, producing, and editing, but TikTok is specifically shorter videos, and it's designed to be watched vertically scrolling on your phone, okay? Now, another question that a lot of your family probably asks you if you talk to them about it is, how do people make money from content creating? The main one is ad revenue, okay? And what is ad revenue? Ad revenue is basically when you become a big enough content creator, the platform that you are on, they will put ads on your video or on your content automatically. Like, you do not have to do anything about it. They will just put it on. Ads will randomly play over your content, which gives you gives you a small amount of money, and it also gives the platform some money. Okay, this is specific to Twitch and YouTube, which are the video platforms. It is minimal money. Like, a lot of creators do not get very much very much money from ads. On Twitch, you will only really be making a lot of money from ads if you are running like 20 minutes of ads an hour and you have like thousands of people watching, right? Like Jason Lewin, I believe, does like 15 to 20 minutes of ads, and he's getting like tens of thousands of viewers. So he's making a fair amount of money from ads. But for the average streamer like me, who runs like three minutes of ads per hour and only has like 5 to 10 viewers, you're not making very much money from ad revenue. The second way that people make money from content creation is sponsorships. Now, sponsorships, again, basically what it is when you become a big enough content creator, you can either reach out to brands or brands will reach out to you, and you will make a deal with them. And basically it is like, a brand will go, hey, we will pay you this amount of money for you to actively promote our product or our service, okay? And we will either give you money for it, we'll give you free product, whatever, just so that you will attach your name and your brand to this product to sell it. And that makes us look good, that makes you look good, because it's showing that a brand is interested enough in you. So it's sort of a mutual benefit. Now, obviously, if you're a smaller creator, you're going to get smaller brands coming, talking to you for sponsorships. If you're a bigger content creator, you're going to have bigger brands, right? Like Ludwig. Ludwig has, like, Red Bull, obviously a very big brand. He's got Alienware, which is obviously a very big computer brand. But again, if you're, like, my size or, like, smaller, you're going to get, like, a lot smaller, more niche brands that are not going to give you as much. But still, sponsorships are like one of the best ways that content creators make money, but it is also available, something you can do on any platform. Like any sort of platform that you make content on, you can do sponsorship deals. Streamers do, like Twitch streamers do sponsorships, YouTubers do sponsorships, TikTok is Instagram do sponsorships. Whatever platform you post on, the deals that you make with sponsors will look a little bit different. Because it's all individual contracts depending on the sponsor and the creator. But like I said, it's very, very good money. It's one of the best ways that creators make money. But the only negative is that it's sort of it can be pretty difficult to get sponsorships, especially if you're new to getting sponsorships. If you're a smaller creator, it's hard to get sponsorships. Also, navigating legal deals, because like if you are partnering with a sponsorship and you have a sponsor and you have a contract, it like can be difficult to make a deal about exactly what you're willing to do and what they're willing to give you. So it's difficult. It's high difficulty but high potential profit. Whereas with ads, it's low difficulty but low potential profit. The third one is Twitch, is streaming specific. So if you're a Twitch streamer, if you're a YouTube streamer, or if you're a TikTok streamer, you have donations/subs. And basically what this is, it is people who are fans of your content who say, I like this guy, I'm going to give him some money. I'm going to subscribe to him, which means that I'm going to get benefits in exchange for giving them money. Okay? So this can be This obviously varies in money depending on how big you are. If you're a small streamer who doesn't have that many people watching, you're not going to get many subscribers. If you're a bigger streamer with more people watching, you're likely going to get more subscribers and therefore more money. For donations and subs, you don't necessarily have to do a lot of effort to get subscriptions as a streamer, but like you can just start streaming, you can do stuff, and if people like you, they will just sub. But the more effort you put in to getting subs by like making your content better, interacting more with the people watching, or just like trying to farm subs, then you will get more subs from that. So it sort of scales with how much effort you're willing to put in to get subs. And then finally, the last way that content creators make money is with other business ventures. This is the one that makes content creators the most money. And what this means is that if once a creator has a big enough brand, they are a recognizable face or a recognizable name, they're a recognizable brand that makes content that people know about, they can then say, hey guys, I know that you guys like me for my content, how about you go support my new clothing company or my new food company? You've probably seen a lot of creators doing this. Like obviously there's Lunchly with KSI and Logan Paul. There is like every content creator makes merchandise like clothing, like Cloak. Jacksepticeye has his coffee company. Like basically every big content creator has a business venture that they launch after they've gotten big enough, right? Ludwig sells bidets. He also has like other, but he has a bunch of stuff. But and it's like also just mainstream celebrities also do this. Like Ryan Reynolds has his like whiskey. Dwayne The Rock Johnson also has like alcohol. Like they all do different business. They all start their own secondary companies once they get big enough, because people like them and then people will support their stuff. So this is, again, something that anyone, no matter what platform they post on, can do. This is the best money. Like, this is where content creators make their most money, absolutely. But it is, again, it's very high value, but it can be difficult. Like, you need to be good at business, right? Not just good at making content. So often they hire other people to manage this stuff for them, and then they get money for it. Our second section of our lecture today is, should I become a content creator? So this is for people who are thinking about maybe they want to start doing it as a hobby, or they think they could do it, they think they'll enjoy it. And I'm going to answer this question for you about whether you specifically should become a content creator. So firstly, should you become a content creator as a hobby? Absolutely you should. I think there's no reason why as a hobby you should not become a content creator. If you're passionate about making stuff, if you're passionate about talking about anything, about entertaining people, you can just do it as a hobby. Like literally anybody can start doing this as a hobby. And I think it's great. I think it teaches you a lot of stuff. I think it has the potential to make money, but like that doesn't really matter. And it's just like, it's fun to do. Like, even if I had no chance of making money off this, I would still be streaming, because I just love it. And I think it teaches you a lot of stuff. Like, I've learned heaps of skills. I've learned how to video edit. I've learned just how to like talk better. I've learned just how to like be more engaging, be more charismatic. I think it has taught me a lot in general. But should you do it as a job? It depends on a lot of factors. So we're gonna discuss that a little bit. Now this is what I would say if I was gonna craft the perfect professional content creator, someone who does content creation as a job. If I was gonna craft them in a lab to have the exact personality traits, these are the personality traits that I would give them. Okay, so number one, obviously you want to be creative. You have to be able to think of good ideas. You need to be able to do stuff that not everybody is doing. You need to be able to make unique content that people are going to watch rather than watching anything else. Secondly, you gotta be funny. I think even if you're not making comedy content, I think being funny helps you no matter what. Being an engaging personality is going to help you make content. Even if you're like because like you can be a fashion influencer, you can be a whatever, you can be a music influencer, but I still think being funny and having a good personality is going to make that content better, even if the content doesn't necessarily like have to be about you being funny, okay? It doesn't have to be comedy content in order for you being funny to make it better. Thirdly, you want to be passionate. You gotta be passionate about whatever you're talking about, okay? Because the more passionate and the more genuinely passionate you are talking about something, the more people are gonna want to watch it. Like, people are always gonna want to watch something from someone who's passionate talking about something rather than someone who hates it. Even if you're talking about something really, really dry and boring like maths, would you rather listen to someone who hates math and like doesn't really give a fuck about math to explain math to you, or would you rather have someone who has devoted their life to math, loves it, enjoys it, like genuinely thinks it's fun, thinks it's interesting? Even if you don't give a fuck about math, you're gonna want to listen to the person who's passionate about it more. Now, you gotta be determined as well, because like it is hard to be a content creator. It's hard to be a successful content creator. You need to be determined that this is what you want to do. Because if you're kind of like flippy floppy about it, if you're like, I'm kind of just doing it, but I don't like care really if I don't know if it's what I want to do, I don't really care about making it successful, it's not going to be good. Like, you need to be determined that you're going to be posting for a long time with making basically no progress, like getting no views, getting no traction for a long time before you start getting anywhere. Like, that's just how it is. Like 1 in like a billion people makes their first video and blows up off it. 99% of people, they post for a long time before they start getting anywhere. And even when they do start getting anywhere, it's like slow growth, okay? So you need to be determined. You need to be able to keep doing it for a long time, just off like your own passion before you start needing people watching it. Next up, you need to be a strategic thinker. You need to be someone who can see a potential opportunity and make it, get the most out of it, okay? You need to be thinking, alright, these are the things that I'm good at, these are the things that I'm bad at, these are the things that I can use to help myself get bigger, and these are my weaknesses that I need to kind of get rid of, okay? Do a little SWOT analysis, okay? But yeah, you just need to be someone who's like, oh, I see this. Oh, like for me, for example, as like a gaming streamer, right? You would go, ooh, this brand new game that is really, really, really good has just come out. Not many people are talking about it. I could be the person to stream it, and then when this game is really good, so it's likely to blow up. So if I stream it, and then it blows up, people are going to be watching my specific content about it, right? So you need to be thinking like that. You need to be looking for opportunities for growth all the time. You need to always be thinking about how you can progress your content and like get bigger. Next, you need to have good morals. I think to be a very, very good professional content creator, you need to be of good moral character. Because even if you make very, very entertaining content, if you're a bad person doing bad stuff, people are gonna find out. Like, on the internet, people are gonna find out about any sort of shady shit that you are doing. Whether it's sooner or whether it's later, people are gonna find out. So, like, just don't, like, you need to be a good person. And I know a lot of content creators who have gotten big were not good people, but eventually people found out about all the shady shit that they're doing, and then it made them take a big hit on their popularity, right? And they had to sort of got knocked down, and then they made the effort to come back again, for better or worse, you know. Like a lot of shitty people who are content creators have managed to survive, but that's just like, it's unfortunate. But I think the people who are going to stay at the top for the longest amount of time are the people who are genuinely good people, who have genuinely good moral character, who aren't gonna be shut down by, like, doing something shitty and then getting caught about it. I think you need to try and do your best to be good. Now, willing to learn new skills. This is a really important one, because when you first start out being a content creator, every single thing that you do, you need to do it yourself. Like, you can't expect anybody else to do it for you. You have to learn, you have to put in the effort to learn to do it yourself, okay? Like, let's say you want to do YouTube, right? You have to learn how to video edit, you have to learn how to make thumbnails, you have to learn how to make titles, you need to just learn how to film properly, like have good audio, good visual. You need to know all that stuff. And because, like, you're the one that's doing everything, so it's like you need to be able to be willing to learn these skills and to practice these skills to get good at them in order to get anywhere with it. Because, like, when I first started, I didn't know how to fucking do anything. So, but then I had to put in the effort to start video editing, okay? Like, my first ever YouTube video, I don't even know if it's still up on my channel or not, but all it was like a 20-minute cutout video of me playing Fortnite and talking. It had zero editing, it had zero anything, and I was like, wow, this sucks. After I posted it, I was like, wow, this is horrible. Like, I would not watch this as a viewer. Nobody was gonna watch this. And so I was like, alright, I need to learn how to video edit because that's what all of the big YouTubers do. That's how the videos become good. And so my second video, I actually edited. Like, I actually went into DaVinci Resolve, I edited it. It was still horrible. It was horrible. It was a horrible quality, but it had editing in it. And then every video from that, I did more and more and more editing. And I'm still learning how to edit. Like, I'm still trying to get better at editing. Every single video that I post, I'm trying to get better at editing. So it is, like, you do have to put in that effort. It's been 3 years of me doing this, of learning how to edit. Like, you do need to put in that effort to learn the new skill, practice the skill, and there's, like, so many different skills that you are going to have to do this with if you're trying to make good content. No matter what the platform is, you're going to learn new skills. Next up, Kaizen. Now, for anybody that doesn't know what Kaizen means, it is a philosophy. I believe it stems from Japan. It is a philosophy that basically, anything that you're doing, you need to always be trying to get better at it. Every little bit of your content that you make, every single piece of content that you make, you want to try and get better at it every time. Even if it's only by, like, a little bit, you want to try and get better at it. Every time I stream, I'm like, alright, these are the things that I want to improve on with my streaming. These are the things that I want to improve on the next time I post a YouTube video. These are the things that I want to improve on next time I post a TikTok video. Alright? Like, you need to have that philosophy, that mindset of always trying to improve on every single part. Because if you continue to stay the same and you don't grow, people are going to notice that and people are going to be mad about that, right? So you need to always be trying to get better for yourself and for the people watching your content. Now, have a lot of hobbies and interests. I think that having a lot of different hobbies and a lot of different interests will help you so much as a content creator, because it means that you are bringing all of these different flavors into your content, right? If you're someone who does not do anything, has no hobbies, has no interests, all they're doing is hopping on stream to play Fortnite, but they have they have nothing to talk about except for the game, people are going to get bored about that. People are interested in hearing about, like, all of these different things that you're interested in, all of these different things that you do aside from streaming. And you can then, if you have hobbies and interests, you can bring them into the stream, and it elevates the content, and it gives you more options for things that you can do and make content out of. So it really, really helps to have all of this extra stuff to bring in. Like, especially if you're, like, talented, if you're a good singer, if you make music, like play an instrument, if you have what else? If you have any, like, special skills, or even if you're just, like, interested in a lot of stuff. Like, I'm really interested in, like, dinosaurs. I'm really interested in anime. I'm really interested in Greek mythology. Like, all of these little things. It just gives you more to talk about and more stuff that you can make content about, right? It's the same as like when you're meeting a new person. It's the same as when you meet a new stranger. Like, let's say you go to a party, your friend goes, "Oh, this is Phil. This is Philip. I think that you and Philip would get along." If you are really, really fucking boring to talk to, and they go like, "Oh, so, like, what do you do for fun?" And you go, "I don't know. I don't really do anything." Or if they're like, "Oh, what are you interested in?" And you're like, I don't know. It's like Philip's not gonna want to talk to you, right? But if Philip asks you what you do for fun and you say, oh, I play badminton on the weekend. I am a professional swimmer. I'm in a band. I'm a painter. I do juggling. I just graduated from clown school. I'm really into anime. I'm really into this all sort of stuff. It's like you're gonna have a lot to talk about. You're gonna seem interesting. And Philip's going to want to talk to you. Philip's going to want to be your friend, right? It's the same sort of process. I'm going to be learning art soon. See, art is a really, really good skill to have. Like, no matter how skilled you are at art, you can help it, like, that will help boost your content. Because you can be like, oh, I'm learning art. This is my, like, progress. Like, if you saw about a year ago, PewDiePie posted a video where he was like, oh, I'm gonna be drawing every day for like 100 days or something. And he like showed his progression, and people were like, oh my god, he went from like not being able to do art at all, and now he's like fucking cracked at drawing. It's like, so you like, that's something you can do. If you're already good at art, you can like show off the art that you do, and people are gonna be really interested in that. It's like, there's so much shit that you can do. Anyway, so like, I think that's a really, really important one. Next up, being tapped into online culture. Again, I mentioned this at the start, but I think this is really important. It's the same as like, because if you're trying to work in content creation, you want to know everything that's happening in your industry, right? Because that is your professional industry. It's the same as like if you work in any sort of industry. If you work in software development, you're going to want to be tapped in what is happening in software development, because that is going to affect your job. Like, if you're going to want to know what's going on with AI, because that could potentially affect your job. If you work in finance, it's like you're going to want to know what's happening with the economy, because that could potentially affect your job. If you're a teacher, you're going to want to know about all of the stuff happening with teaching, you know? Because, like, you need to, the more you know about your industry, the better you're going to be at doing it, right? The more you know about your job, the better you're going to be at doing your job. And again, people love, specifically with online stuff, people love hearing different people's opinions on what's happening with content creation. It's like every event that happens, people are going to be like, oh, I want to hear specifically what this content creator opinion on this like piece of drama that just happened is, you know? People love hearing about that. And finally, not affected by the opinions of others. I realized just before stream, I probably could have just put this as like resilience, or like resilient, but I think you need to be very much like water off a duck's back about people's opinions about you and about your content. Because like, it is important to, if people are giving you constructive criticism, obviously that's good to see. But if it's purely just like hate criticism, then you just need to not sort of let that happen. Because even like the best content creators who do nothing wrong, they're just themselves, they make good content, they're passionate, they're positive, all of those content creators get hate, you know? Like, we're gonna talk about this a little bit later, but like, the bigger you are, the more haters you're gonna have, and the more criticism you're gonna have. And so it's like, you need to be very resilient about that sort of stuff. But yes, so these are take a picture of these. These are the skills and the traits that you should have if you are a content creator. These are like the perfect traits, in my opinion. And I have good news for you guys, because there is infinite content to be made. I did mention this just before. Anything that you want to make, people are going to be interested in watching. Even if it's like the most niche thing ever. If you make content creator and it's good content and like you're passionate about it, people are gonna want to watch it. Okay? Because people love, even if it's someone that has no idea about what you're talking about, people are gonna want to watch it. You can make anything and people are gonna want to watch it, but your job specifically is to make sure that it is good content. I'm gonna introduce you to something that you may have heard of. This is a little concept called the attention economy. So like, you guys know, the economy is basically just like who has what is the share of money amongst the world, right? That's what the regular economy is, the business economy. The attention economy is about how much attention every person can give to every little thing, okay? It's very, like, attention and time also go very hand in hand. So if you look at this graph, this is the average person's time split in a day, right? We all have 24 hours in a day. This is what it looks like. So, the average person's time split, they have 8 hours sleeping in a day. And they have 8 hours working in a day. And just to make this simplified, we're going to say that they do nothing but sleep and work, right? Most people would have even less time than this. But just for the sake of simplicity, this person sleeps 8 hours, this person works 8 hours, and then they have 8 hours of free time. And so, like, they only have 8 hours of free time to consume content, okay? And content, this lower graph is this little third, but, like, more detailed, okay? Out of their free time, the average person spends 2 hours playing Fortnite. 2 hours of their 8 hours of free time they spend playing Fortnite, for example. And then maybe they spend an hour watching the new episode of Love Island or whatever the new reality show that's like really trending is, okay? And then let's say they spend 2 hours watching TikTok, you know, like we all hop in bed and we spend like an hour to 2 hours fucking scrolling on TikTok, right? And so you are in this little chunk. This is maybe like an hour of time, okay, in a day. This is where you are. This is their amount of time that they are willing to give to a content creator or a piece of content that they have never seen, never heard of, okay? All of this other stuff, that takes priority to this person. This is how much time they're willing to give to new stuff. This is where you are, okay? You are competing with every single other person, every single other company, every single other person in the world that makes content, okay? So that means that you need to be better than every single other person, okay? You need to be better than all of the biggest content creators in the world. This is Queso. He is one of the top 10 streamers in the world. He is beloved. He has thousands of people watching him, okay? You need to be better than him. This is Obsession. This is a new horror movie that everybody is popping off about, okay? Like, you need to be better than every big box office movie that people are obsessed about. People are going to go see, people are going to talk about. You need to be better than that. You need to be better than every single video game, okay? You need to be better than every single piece of content that people are spending their time on, okay? You need to be better than everything. Because you are competing with all of these things. You're competing with every other content creator. You're competing with every other movie, every other show that comes out, every other video game that comes out. You need to be more engaging, more alluring, more interesting, so that they spend their time watching you instead of watching these other things or playing these other games, okay? That is the mindset that you need to have. You are competing with all of these things. You're not just competing with other creators your own size. You're not just competing with like all of the content creators. You're competing with every single piece of media. You using your 8 hours of free time to make this business assignment, pretty much. That's what I'm saying. Like, people spend their time doing different things, but that's like the average person's fucking time split, right? Most people spend their time on like the stuff that they already enjoy, the stuff they already think is good. They're not willing to give a lot of free time to stuff that is new. They're not willing to take a chance on new stuff. What if I sleep 22 hours a day and eat eucalyptus? Then, you know, you're gonna have even less time for content. And some people are like that. Some people work more than 8 hours a day. Some people sleep more than 8 hours a day. Some people have other commitments, which means that they have less time to watch content. So now, what do you need to get started making content? You need a microphone. No matter what content you're making, you will need a microphone. People need to be able to hear your voice, okay? That is like the most important thing. You need a camera, because people are going to want to see you, okay? People much prefer putting a face to a content or a face to a voice rather than just being a voiceless entity. That's why VTubers, you know, exist, because they're people who like don't want to be on camera, but they need to still have a face, so it's like a substitute of having a physical face, right? But luckily, in the modern day, you have a phone, which already has a built-in microphone and a built-in camera. So it's like if you have a phone, you've already got like 70% of it done, okay? You're chilling. And then finally, you need a PC or a laptop for editing. This is mainly if you're making YouTube videos. If you're making TikToks, you can also just edit on the phone using like CapCut or whatever. But if you're making YouTube videos, you're probably going to need a laptop. or a PC. So this is the physical stuff that you need to get started, okay? Pretty chill, pretty easy to get. If you're specifically making gaming content, if you want to be a gaming streamer or a gaming YouTuber, you're gonna need a PC or a console to play video games on. If you're, a lot of people think that if you're gonna be a streamer or a Let's Player, you like need to be on PC. But like, when I started streaming specifically on PlayStation. I was streaming through PlayStation with a shitty PlayStation camera, on this exact same headset. Only being able to play PlayStation games. So it's like you don't need a PC, but a PC does open up a lot of options for you. I think if you can get a PC, use a PC, but if you don't have a PC, it's fine. Secondly, you still need a microphone, obviously. You need a face cam. Some people might argue with me about this, but I think that if you are serious about making content and you're serious about doing it full time, and you're making gaming content, I think it is really, really essential to have a face cam. Like, yes, technically you can make content just with the game and just with your voice, but again, people like seeing the face, they like having a person on screen to look at, to talk to see the reactions of. I think it's really important if you're doing it as a job and not as a hobby, okay? Now, we're going to talk about mindset, because it's even more important to have the right mindset than it is to have the right equipment, okay? So I want you to ask yourself a few questions. Firstly, do you want to be a content creator, or do you just want to be rich? Because some people go, oh, I'm going to be a content creator because I'm going to be rich. It's going to make me rich. But it's important to be like, I want to be a content creator regardless of if I'm going to make a bunch of money or not. Because if you just want to be rich, there is a lot of easier ways to become rich, you know? Become a real estate agent, become like a business mogul, okay? Those are much easier ways to become rich than being a content creator. So do you want to be a content creator, or do you just want to be rich? Secondly, do you want to be a content creator, or do you just want to be famous? Because again, there is a lot easier ways to become famous than to be a content creator, you know? You can, be an actor, be a musician, be a politician or whatever. Like, there are a lot of other ways to be famous other than being a content creator. Do you want to be a content creator, or are you just trying to market something else? And what I mean by this is that, like, a lot of people are like musicians, but then they start making content as a way to market their music, right? A lot of people want to be actors, but then they become a content creator to then market their acting ability. And it's like, you can be a content creator while trying to be something else. It's like a lot of content creators start as content creators and then they start doing acting, or they start doing voice acting or music or whatever. But you got to ask yourself, am I trying to become a professional content creator, or am I trying to become a professional something else, but I'm using my content creation as a marketing avenue for this stuff? Because it's free, it's easy, it's an easy way to market it. Final question is, what is your ultimate goal besides being a successful content creator? Because if you start content creating and your only goal is to like make money, be famous, whatever, like you're trying to become Mr. Beast, you're trying to become Kai Cenat, whatever. You're trying to, if you're just trying to be at the top of the industry, I think that's a bad idea. I think you should have a goal besides just monetary success in the industry. Think about what you're trying to use all the money that you're going to gain from this, all of the platform that you're going to gain from this. Try and think about what you want to use that for. For example, I should have made a slide about some good examples of this, but Ludwig, if you think about Ludwig, he's one of the biggest streamers. He has said that his ultimate goal is that he wants to make the lives easier of all of his friends and family, alright? He got famous, and then he immediately started hiring all of his friends, and now all of his friends are rich, right? His podcast, The Yard, he has 3 of his friends on there. They were not content creators before this, or they were, but they were like very small content creators. He started that podcast not just because he knew it was going to make him money, but he did it because he wanted to make his friends money. He also hires a lot of his friends as like editors, assistants, stuff like that. He has said that he wants to like reward his friends for being good people by making their lives easier, by giving them easier ways to be comfortable, live comfortable lives, right? Maya Higa, She runs Alveus Sanctuary. Again, she is a very, very big streamer. Her ultimate goal is that she's using all of the money from content creation and her platform to try and save the animals, right? She's a conservationist. She started Alveus Sanctuary using the money and the platform that she gained from content creation. And so here is my answers to these questions, alright? My answers. Do you want to be a content creator or do you just want to be rich? Both. I do want to become a content creator, but I also want to be rich. But I'm not trying to use content creation as my way to become rich. I'm trying to become rich separately that's why I'm doing a business degree, right? So I can start a business, become rich, and then still do content creation on the side, right? I'm not trying to use my content creation to make me rich, because I think that's silly. Secondly, do I want to be a content creator, or do I just want to be famous? Both. I would like to be famous, but there is a lot of other ways that I'm trying to become famous other than through content creation. I would be super happy being a content creator, but like no one knowing that I did content creation, but being famous for something else, right? Do I want to be a content creator, or am I trying to market something? Both. For anyone that doesn't know, I'm also an author, or like I'm a writer. I'm writing my first novel at the moment. I want to be able to do voice acting. If my content, if my platform my community that I built is going to help me market myself to be able to do those things, or like when I finish my book, using my community to sort of boost the sales of my book when I eventually write that. It's like, that would be very good. But that is not why I became a content creator. I became a content creator because I like making content. It's just an added bonus that I can use it as a marketing avenue. And then finally, what is my ultimate goal besides being a successful content creator? My goal, if I was going to put it in like one simple sentence, I would say my goal is to create a community of good people who are aligned in my goal of like just trying to make the world better, right? Like if I was as rich as Kai Cenat, if I was as famous as Kai Cenat, or like up on that level, I would be using all of that to try and make the world better. Like I wanna solve homelessness. I wanna like have free education, free healthcare, you know. I want to like just try and generally make the world better, you know. Stop animals from going extinct, all of that sort of stuff. That is like my ultimate goal. That is why I became a content creator, is because I want to use the money and influence that I get to just help people, right? To make the world better for people. That is the ultimate goal. So I want, if you're thinking of becoming a content creator, I want you to think about what your ultimate goal is going to be. Because like once you're at the top, once you've achieved success, what do you want to do after that? Like that's not the end. That's not the end. If you have all of this money and fame, it's like, what are you going to do with it? You got to do something with it. So you got to think about what you want that to be. Now, part number 3 of our lecture today. How do I become a successful content creator? This is going to be the biggest section of our lecture today. This is basically like everything that I've learned, all of the tangible knowledge and skills that I've learned by content creation for the past 3 years. This is my workflow, and this is what I want your workflow to be if you are getting into making content, okay? Ideation, coming up with ideas. It is important to come up with the ideas for your content before you start working on it, okay? This is a separate part of the process. I don't want you to just be like, oh, I'm going to stream today, what do I want to do? I don't know, I'm going to play Fortnite. I'm going to play Minecraft, and that's it. Ideation needs to be a solid, active block of your time, so that you can come up with the best ideas and the best content possible. This is like probably the most important step of the workflow, okay? Now, secondly, streaming/recording. If you're going to be streaming, you're streaming. If you don't want to be a streamer, if you want to be like a TikToker, a YouTuber, whatever, it would be recording. But it's the same step either way. Thirdly, producing for long form. Basically what this means is your editing, your planning about how you're going to be doing your posting, stuff like that, thumbnails, titles, all of that. That is this step. And then lastly, producing for short form. Because even if you are trying to be a long-form creator, like a streamer or a YouTuber, you do need to be also making short-form content. Short-form content has the best, is the best way to capture new viewers. It's the best for discoverability. So if you do want to gain fans, you do need to be posting on short-form, regardless. Now, we're going to talk about ideation first. The first step of ideation is self-reflection. And what I mean by this is you're going to be asking yourself a few questions, and that's going to give you an idea about what sort of content that you want to make, okay? So firstly, I want you to honestly get a piece of paper right now. Get a piece of paper or do it on your notes app or whatever. I want you to write down a list of your strengths. I want you to write down a list of the things that you are good at, the things that you know that you are better than the average person at. I don't want you to be humble. I know it's kind of hard to write down your strengths sometimes, but I don't want you to be humble right now. I want you to be real. I want you to be real and genuine to yourself about what you are good at, what you are better at than the average person. It can be anything. It can be a large-scale thing, or it can be a very niche thing. Like if you're really good at juggling, you can be like, I'm really good at juggling. If you're really good at, what's like a large-scale thing? If you think that you're very like charismatic, that's a really good thing to put on. Being deranged. Honestly, you can do that. A lot of people have made careers as content creators through being deranged. You ever heard of Stable Ronaldo? He's fucking crazy. You ever heard of Dantes? He's one of the biggest League of Legends streamers. He's insane. So like literally anything. Any points, any skills that you have, any personality traits that you think you're really good at or better than the average person at, write that down. Secondly, I want you to write down your unique life experience. And what I mean by this is that, like, anything that makes you different from the average person, write that down right here. Anything that makes you different from, like, the average straight white man, whatever. Like, anything that makes you different from, like, the blank slate person, okay? I have big naturals. Exactly. Like, that's a perfect example of something to put on. Yeah, anything that makes you different from the average person. This can be big, you know, like if you're a woman, if you identify as female, that's immediately a ding on the board, because the content creation space is still very male dominated. So being a woman in the industry does immediately give you an advantage. It does immediately make you different from most content creators. Being gay. You might think that I'm joking about this one, but like a lot of creators have made careers out of like being gay. Like being gay is a big part of their content. It like adds to their personality, whatever. Literally anything. This can be anything that you have. And then thirdly, I want you to write down your interests. This is anything that you're interested in. Doesn't have to be about content creation at all. Just anything that you're like really interested in, passionate about, whatever. Okay? I want you to write that down. And if you need help with an example, this is a screenshot from my notes app. This piece of writing is in my notes app right now. I literally took a screenshot from my phone, emailed it to myself on my PC, put it on the PowerPoint. This is my version of this. So I would say I'm really good at like planning, organizing. I think I'm a very organized person. I think I'm pretty funny. I think I'm really good at talking to people. I'm good at communication. I think I'm a better writer than the average person. Interests, you know, video games, movies, anime. I'm just a big like media person. I love all of that stuff. Reading, volleyball, animals, aliens, dinosaurs, food. You can just put like a whole smorgasbord of stuff. This is just like anything that you can think of. Throw it on there, and then unique life experience. As a straight white guy, this was a tough one for me, honestly. But like, if you have like a specific degree that you're doing, like obviously I'm doing a business degree, so that does help me a bit because like a lot of people don't know about business stuff. I'm autistic, not confirmed yet, but like pretty confirmed. Australian, again. If you're literally from anywhere other than the US or from like North America, put like where you're from, because like most content creators are North American, okay? They're American, they're Canadian, Mexican is like very interesting, obviously. But like if you're literally from any other country, that is something that you can put on. And then if you're like older, if you're like an older person who wants to make content, that's already like an interesting thing, because like content creation is sort of a younger industry. So if you're like a boomer, if you're like a Gen X, like in your 40s, 50s, millennial, Gen Z, you know, put that sort of stuff. Anything else that you can think of. Like I said, if you were homeschooled, if you just had any sort of like crazy shit happen when you were younger, just something like that. Anything that you can think of can add to your content, even if you're not really sure how at this point. That's the self-reflection part of ideation. Very, very, very important. Now you're going to decide what type of content that you're going to make, okay? What do you want to do for your content? And there's three different categories about this, okay? Firstly, what is the type of content you want to do? And what I mean by this is like the literal form of the content. So like, do you want to be a streamer? Do you want to make like long form YouTube videos? Do you want to be a short form creator? Do you want to post on TikTok, Reels, YouTube Shorts, that sort of thing? Do you want to just be like photos? Like, cause you could post on Instagram. You could be an Instagram model and just post like photos if you wanted. Or you could even just be someone who does writing. Like you could have you could have a blog. You could be a Twitter personality. People make careers out of this stuff, even though it's silly to sort of think about. You know, there is if you become successful enough on Twitter, you can become rich off that. Crazy to think about. And secondly, the genre of content. Genre is different than type, okay? Type is like movie, TV, music. Genre is like action, romance, comedy. You know what I mean? So for content, you know, you could do gaming, IRL, React, art, music, ASMR, comedy. There is so many genres that you could pick from. There is infinite genres. There are new genres of content coming out literally every day. People are inventing new genres every single day. And then finally, what is the vibe of your content gonna be? Look at this list of people that I've written down. All of these people are streamers. They all make gaming content, okay? But they are all, if you watch any of their content, you will see how different they are. How different the vibe of their streams are, okay? Queso is very much like, oh, he's like your big brother, and you're watching him like play games, and it's just like comforting, it's fun, it's nice, whatever. Ludwig is all about like being big, like doing exciting things, like trying to sort of make the craziest content out of like whatever the genre, whatever the thing that he's doing is, right? It's very like big, it's like, yeah! Joe Bartolozzi is very much like, he's very like intellectual, but he also sort of rages sometimes. He's a good balance between like thinking, having like deep conversations, but also just like having big emotions, big reactions. Dantes, like I mentioned before, he's fucking crazy. His whole content, he is an insane person. Iron Mouse is very like quirky, but also like very comforting. You know, like she's very much just like chilling, but she's also like sort of funny because she's like a VTuber. She's like a little bit anime. Northern Lion is very like again very like intellectual, but sort of different. Less in like an intellectual, like philosophical way, more in like a autistic way. KDB is just like sort of like very funny, very like you never sort of know what's gonna come out of her mouth. And then Germa is like similar to Dantes. He is also crazy, but he's sort of crazy in a different way. Dantes is crazy like the crackhead that you avoid on the street, okay? Germa is crazy like the guy in the the insane asylum talking to himself in the padded room, okay? So it's like different flavors of crazy, different vibes. And like every single creator has like a different vibe of content, and it's really important for you to figure out what sort of vibe that you want to go for is. I think that's an underrated thing that a lot of people don't think about. And now next up, we're going to talk about the actual process of ideation. After the self-reflection, this is what you want to be doing every single time that you are purposefully ideating for your next stream, your next video, your next whatever. So firstly, you're going to pick your genres. If you look at the last one, those are some genres, but you can also look at some other genres. These are the genres that I generally go towards. These are like my top 3. I do a lot of different stuff, but these are like my top 3. Obviously gaming, I do a little bit of reacting, and now I'm also trying to get into like some educational stuff. Step 2, I want you to pick your topics. And what I mean by topics is like anything, right? If you're doing like gaming topics, the topics would be like the game that you're playing. So a topic would be like Minecraft is a topic, Among Us is a topic, Fortnite is a topic, Mecha Chameleon is a topic. The topic is like the game. If you're doing reacting, the topics would be like, do you want to react to like drama stuff? Do you want to react to like educational stuff? Do you want to react to like memes or like story-based sort of stuff? Like there's different things. The topic is just like what sort of stuff that you're doing. So like I would say these are my like top 3 gaming. These are some examples of like my gaming topics, right? Daily games, Pokemon, Deltarune. Pretty simple. Now step 3, I want you to go through this little questionnaire that I've made, okay? I think this is a questionnaire that you should go through every single time that you are making ideas, okay? Question number 1. What is trending right now / what will perform well, in your opinion? For gaming, usually what I do is I look at because I'm a Twitch streamer, I look at the top trending categories on Twitch. I'll go through there, I'll be like, oh, okay, this game is trending, this game is trending, this game is trending, right? Just to give you a sort of idea about what might perform well. But secondly, you're not gonna do something that's trending if you think you're gonna hate it and you're probably not gonna make good content out of it, right? So you're gonna do what sounds fun to you. Because there was a lot of, if I played every single game just because it was trending, I would like kill myself, honestly. If you look at the games that are trending on Twitch right now, I'm gonna put them up and I'm gonna ask you if you think these look fun. Valorant. If I was streaming Valorant every day just because Valorant was trending, I would kill myself. If I was playing League of Legends every stream because it was popular, I would kill myself. Path of Exile, Apex, Rust, all of these games, they are extremely popular, but I would never ever stream them because I would fucking hate it. And the content would probably be awful. So it's really important that you figure out what you want to do sounds fun. Honestly, like, having something that is fun for you is more important than what is trending. It's nice when those two things, like, go together, but it's kind of rare. Question number 3. Does this align with the brand that I want? For example, if you're trying to go for, like, a family-friendly, like, positive, like, all ages appropriate sort of brand, like, you're obviously not going to play a very violent horror game. You're not going to play, like, Outlast Trials, or you're not going to play, like the Scissor Slasher 3 or whatever, extremely bloody edition with the sex mini game. It's like you're gonna play games that are fit in your brand. You're gonna do stuff that fits in your brand, okay? So that's another thing to talk about. And then finally, can I extend this further? And what I mean by this is that any idea that you have, you want to try and make it as interesting as possible. An example of this would be like, let's just take Pokemon for example, because that's an easy one to do. If you were gonna play Pokemon, like, yes, you could just be like, oh, I'm gonna hop on stream, I'm gonna play Pokemon. I'm just gonna do like a normal playthrough of Pokemon. But that's kind of boring. No one's really interested in watching that. It's been done 100 times. So then you'd be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do a Nuzlocke. That's a little bit more interesting. People are going to watch that. But then you could even go further. You could be like, I'm going to do a hardcore Nuzlocke, and then even more people are going to watch that. And then you could even be like, oh, I'm going to do a hardcore Nuzlocke, but every time a Pokemon dies, I'm gonna electric shock myself, or like something like that. I'm going to do a punishment for myself. So it's like you just gotta keep building on the ideas you have as much as possible to make them interesting. And I want you to go through this process at least once a week. I think you should be ideating about your content at least once a week. Some people say to do it every day. I would say every day is a bit much. Maybe if you're if you're doing this full time, then maybe do it every day. But like, if you're just getting started, I would say do it at least once a week. Nextly, streaming and recording. Again, these are in the same category because it's basically the same thing. Before you start your streaming/recording section, you need to set aside a time where you won't be interrupted. This is especially important for streaming because if you get interrupted while you're streaming, everybody's gonna see it. There's no way to like get rid of it. If you're pre-recording something, it's more of an annoyance than whatever because you just have to like you'll have to edit it out. But like streaming, it's especially important. If you're living with parents, just be like, oh, I'm gonna be streaming for the next 3 hours. Please like knock on my door, or like don't just come into my room while I'm streaming. When I first started, I literally had to do this with my mom. I was like, all right, I'm gonna put a sock on the doorknob. If the sock is on the doorknob, that means that I'm streaming. If you come into my room while I'm streaming, people are going to see you on camera. So like knock on my door or text me if you need anything. So you got to set aside a time where you're not going to be interrupted if possible. Secondly, try and stick to a consistent schedule. If you're streaming, try and stream at the same time every day or the same days of every week. Because if you're streaming at different times every day or different days of every week, then different people are going to watch you, okay? But if you stream at the same time every day, the same people with the same schedule who are able to watch you at that time are going to keep coming back. It sucks if it's like you stream at 2 p.m. one day, and then you have like 10 people watching you who are in the middle of their work day or whatever, and they need someone on the second monitor while they work, right? And you have like 10 viewers at 2 p.m. And then the next day, you start streaming at 6 p.m. And it's like all of those people are doing other stuff at that time, so they're not going to watch you. It's more likely that people are going to watch whoever is streaming at that time, rather than trying to change their schedule in order to watch one specific person, okay? You just need to do whatever schedule works for you, and you need to do that consistently. And then no matter what time that you're streaming, you're going to build up an audience in that time frame, okay? I used to stream at different times every day because my schedule was very inconsistent, but now that my schedule is more consistent, I try and stream at 6 p.m. every day. I try and stream like 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. every day, if possible. And then by doing that, I get the same people coming every time. And then that's the same with recording. With recording, it's more about posting at the same time every day. Like on YouTube, you can schedule to post things at specific times. So try and post at the same time every day or the same days every week. It's the same sort of principle. People are going to be expecting that you're going to post, and they're going to see it, and they're going to be ready, and they're going to watch it. Number 3, make sure that nothing is on camera that you don't want to be seen. Again, this is more important with streaming than it is with recording, because with recording, you can always just like blur stuff if you really want to. It's a little bit annoying, but it can be done. Whereas with streaming, if you're streaming and your bed is in the background and you've got a giant fucking dildo on your bed, there's not a whole lot you can do about it except get rid of it. But by the time you get rid of it, people have already seen it, people have already made clips about it. So you need to make sure before you start streaming that nothing bad, nothing that you don't want to be seen is in the background, okay? And then also, have a plan. Having a plan is sort of part of ideation, but you need to have like a specific plan about what you're doing for stream or for that video like that day. Ideation is more like an overview for like what I'm gonna do in the near future. Plan for stream or a plan for video is like, alright, these are the specific things that I need to do, the specific things that I need to remember while I'm streaming. Now, we're gonna talk about during the time that you're streaming / recording. Stay calm. This is, for some reason with me, I get more nervous when I'm recording something than when I'm streaming something. I don't know what it is. I think I'm just more used to streaming, but either way, it's really important to stay calm while you're streaming. It can be very overwhelming, especially if you get a few people watching and a few people chatting at once, because you're trying to like game or you're trying to do something, but you're also looking at your second monitor and you're trying to keep up with chat. It can be a little bit overwhelming, but it's important to stay calm. Secondly, kind of going hand in hand with that, you want to not rush. You are the conductor of your own stream. You are the person in charge. You set the pace. You want to make it like fast. If you want to be doing like bam, 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 you can do that. But if that's going to be too tricky for you, you can just like keep it slow, keep it calm, you know? Don't be afraid that by going slower, people are going to leave. Some people might, but the people who like the slower pace are going to be watching. Like everybody's different about what they want. So it's like you don't need to try and like rush through whatever you're doing. You don't need to panic. You don't need to be like talking really fast, talking all the time, doing stuff really fast, like whatever it is. You are the conductor. You are the one going like this. Like you're the one keeping the stream on time, on a specific pace. Next, don't be afraid to divert from the plan. We talked a little bit about having a plan, but don't be like too strict about the plan. If you're streaming and the opportunity for something more interesting happens, then like kind of divert from the plan a little bit. You can always come back to the plan later if you want to, but like if you're streaming and then maybe someone in chat goes like, "Oh my god, did you see this like crazy thing that just happened?" And you'll be like, "Ooh, no, I haven't." Like maybe divert from like the game, pause the game for a second, divert, react to some like really funny or like some crazy thing that just happened. and then go back to it. It's like you can always come back to the original plan. But you don't need to be like, we're doing this today, we're only doing this is all that matters, I'm not doing anything else. Like, if there's the opportunity for something funny or something interesting, divert from the plan. Next up, this might be an obvious one to some people, but you need to make sure that you are talking to chat while you're streaming. I see so many small streamers ignoring their chat because they're either unable to multitask, or they just like don't think they need to. Sometimes I'll be watching, I'll like browse some other streamers, and I'll go into their chat. They'll be just gaming, and I'll talk to their chat, and then like I'll message in chat, and they won't respond. And then like that turns people away from the stream. So you need to be making sure that you are talking to chat. Next up, this is an important one. Don't dox yourself. For anybody that doesn't know what doxing is basically revealing or showing personal information that people can use to like harm you. So this is like your address. Like, never say what your address is. You don't need to. Sometimes you don't even want to say like what your last name is. Don't talk about like your family or like the people that you know, like full names. Just like anything that could potentially put you or somebody else that you know in danger. Try really, really, really hard to avoid saying anything harmful. Again, this is more important for streaming because like with recording, you can always edit stuff out, you can always bleep it, whatever. But if you're streaming and you say something, it's out there. And if somebody wants to find it, they will find it. So that's really, really, really important. And then finally, be aware of the freaks. And what I mean by this is that this is one that is more important for female streamers and female content creators. Be aware of the freaks. You are always likely to have at least one freak, no matter how big you are as a creator. Even if it's your first ever stream, and you are like a female streamer. Be aware that you may have freaks in chat, or freaks watching you, who are waiting for you to like accidentally sexualize yourself, or accidentally reveal where you live, or whatever. Or just like they're trying to find the opportunity to just be creepy and weird. So like if you're on camera and you're getting up off of camera, like be aware of like not like accidentally doing any sort of like sexual positions that people may clip and people may like screenshot or whatever. Just be aware of that sort of stuff. If you're worried about people being obsessed with like your feet, try to hide your feet off camera, like wear socks, wear shoes, whatever you feel comfortable with. I personally don't care about my feet, so I show my feet on camera, because whatever. But again, like just be aware, because there is millions of clips of female content creators on Reddit who are like, oh my god, Pokemon got out of her chair, and you could see like the top of her butt crack a little bit, or whatever, and it's just like people being weird. So you gotta always remember to be aware of that sort of stuff. Next up, we're gonna talk about crowd control on stream. There are 3 tenets to crowd control on stream. Number 1, you need to remember that it's your stream, you are the one in control. You set the rules, you set the pace, you are the one in control of what happens, how it happens, when it happens, etc. If somebody is making you uncomfortable, like, you don't need a reason to ban someone. If they're making you uncomfortable, you can just ban them if you want. It's like, it's totally up to you. Like I said, you're the conductor, you're the one in control. Secondly, moderation. There is 2 types of mods that you can get for 2 separate types of issues that they solve. Bot mods are bots that you can get, and then you give them mod privileges, and then they automatically do moderation for you. So Twitch has a built-in moderation system. I have that completely turned off because I found that it was more annoying than it was helpful for me. But you can get the one that I use a lot. You can actually see it in chat right now. It's called Serybot. SERY_bot. It is a bot that you can get, and it will automatically get rid of any bots that come into your stream trying to like promote stuff, trying to send links. It will automatically get rid of them, so you don't have to do anything while you're streaming. And then secondly, human mods. Human mods are people who watch your stream who you can give mod privileges to, and they will, at your behest, they will ban people or time people out or whatever you want them to do. At the moment, I have 10 human mods. You might be able to see them in chat, some people that have mod around their name. I have 10 human mods, but really I only have one, because I only have one mod that actually does anything, and that is Jonathan. He is my head mod. He is a volunteer mod. I do not pay him. He is just a friend of mine who I trust, who I gave mod privileges to. Bans people that I need to ban. The amount of mods that you need is entirely dependent on you and your chat. I definitely do not need 10 mods because my chat is not that big, or that crazy, but like, you can never have too many mods. It's better to have too many mods than not enough mods. But all you really need is like one really, really good mod. And for me, that is Jonathan. And then finally, Parasocial viewers. For anyone that doesn't know, the picture here, that is Stan from the Eminem song Stan. He is basically the like parasocial fan before that was really a term. Basically what a parasocial viewer is, it is someone who watches your content, who knows you really well, knows a lot about you. You do not really know them, right? Like, person A is a celebrity or a content creator. They are posting a lot of stuff about themselves online. Person B is a fan of their content. They watch a lot of content from that person. Person B often thinks that person A is like their friend, but person A has like little to no idea who they are. That is basically what a parasocial viewer is. And what you need to do with parasocial viewers is like, one, you need to be very, very aware when someone is starting to go from like normal viewer to parasocial viewer. Some easy ways to tell if that is happening is if they start trying to like dig into your social life, like dig into your personal life a little bit more, try and find out more about you, stuff that you're not really comfortable talking about. If they just start sort of like talking as if they are your friend, even though you don't really know them, that is also like a big red flag. And just stuff like that. Just sort of like acting weird, acting a little bit too like personal to you when you aren't really comfortable with that, or like you just don't really know them like that. And then what you need to do when that happens is you need to set boundaries, set very, very clear boundaries about what you are willing to talk about, who this person is to you. You need to be like, you are a fan, I do not know you, like you are not my friend. Like sometimes you literally have to say that to people, but just setting clear boundaries and sticking to that and enforcing that, and not letting people go past your boundaries is really important. I've only ever really had like one parasocial fan. This was about a year ago. There was a guy who used to regularly watch all my streams, and he would regularly gift subs, so like he was giving me money. Like pretty much almost every stream he was like giving me money. And he started off pretty normal, but as time went on, he started like trying to act a bit more as a friend, and it was kind of entirely my fault to a degree, because like I had no way, like this was my first sort of interaction with this. I didn't really realize what was happening until it was too late. But once I did realize what was happening, I had to like enforce boundaries. And the last time that this person ever watched my streams was, we were just chilling. Everything was chill, everything was nice. It was a very like chill, normal stream, nothing crazy was happening. But he started sort of being a little bit annoying, and I warned him, I was like, hey, you're like kind of doing too much right now, can you just like chill please? And he kept being annoying, and so I had to make the decision. I literally had this thought, and I remember, I was like, alright, this guy gives me a lot of money. Do I, let it slide because he gives me a lot of money, because I don't want to like jeopardize the streamer viewer relationship that we have, because he might get offended if I like time him out or something, or do I set the example for my community that if somebody is being annoying, they're gonna get written up, right? Like no matter what. And so I chose to do the latter. I wrote him up, I gave him literally like a 5-minute timeout or something, just to be like, hey, chill out for a bit. That was all it was. I was just like, hey, chill out, you're just kind of being a lot right now, 5-minute timeout. And so, he came back after 5 minutes, and he was like, fuck you, I can't believe you would do that, I'm never watching your content ever again, blah blah blah, fuck you. And then he left, and he never came back. And because of that, I lost a lot of money. Like if I hadn't done that, he probably would have kept watching, probably would have kept consistently giving me subs, which at the time was like a big loss for me because I did not have any income. But I chose to set the example, and as a reward to that, I think it benefited the community a lot. I think I've never ever had a problem with a chat like that ever again. Like, my chat is so chill, my chat is so like positive. If I give someone a warning, they'll be like, yup, my bad, and I usually don't have to like time them out or ban them or anything. So it's like, I think that is worth more in the long term than having one chatter who is verging on being a little bit controlling just because they give you some money. So it's like, you just got to keep that in mind. Next up, we're going to talk about the content funnel. If you were watching Ludwig's Streamer University classes, you may have heard this term a little bit, the content funnel. It is one of the most important concepts in all of content creation, is the content funnel. And what the content funnel looks like, it is an upside down triangle. The content funnel starts with streaming. So for me, I stream. That is the top part of the content funnel. And then after the stream, we talk about the long form content. The content funnel is basically all of the content flows into each other. You turn the one stream into like multiple YouTube videos, and then you turn each YouTube video into multiple clips. That is kind of the idea. Everything funnels into each other. And one really, really important thing to remember when you're streaming is that your stream is your recording session. That is the mindset that you need to be in when you're streaming. You're not just like, your stream is not just isolated as a stream and then it's done, okay? Your stream is your recording session for your YouTube video, okay? This is your stream. Or like, this is an example of like a stream. Got the stream. Segment number 1 of the stream. You pay a Pokemon Nuzlocke, for example, Pokemon Heart Gold, okay? Let's say you do that for like 2 or 3 hours. And then after that, in your stream, let's say you play Mecha Chameleon with friends for like 2 hours, okay? Same stream. This is all in one stream. So you do Pokemon, and then you do another segment, you play Mecha Chameleon, for example. And then, maybe later on, you do a little bit of late night cooking as another segment of stream. And you do that for like 2 or 3 hours, okay? This is all one stream, but you've broken it into separate segments. That's kind of what you want to do. You usually don't want to be streaming, doing one thing for a whole stream. If you're doing like a 3 or 4 hour stream, maybe you do like one thing. But if you're doing like 6 hours of stream, generally you want to be doing multiple stuff, if possible. And then, after the stream gets converted into long form videos. This is your YouTube videos, okay? So segment number 1, let's say you stream Pokemon for like 3 hours or 2 hours. You could then turn that into 2 45 to 60 minute Pokemon YouTube videos, okay? Let's say you start the Nuzlocke, that's one video, you do the first like hour or so of the Nuzlocke, and then the second part is maybe you're up to Whitney. And then Whitney, because Whitney is like a big, notable figure, like Whitney is something that everybody knows about in Pokemon Heart Gold, maybe you make a separate video about that, because people are going to be like, oh my god, Whitney, I want to know how he overcame Whitney, so let me like click on that video. And then, sometimes you only get one video out of a segment. Sometimes you get 2, sometimes you get 1. It just depends. Like, maybe you get a 3rd video out of that stream. And then, later on, you make a 4th video based on the cooking segment. So out of one 6-hour stream, you get 4 YouTube videos out of it, for example. Not every single stream is going to be like that, but like, this is probably the most efficient sort of stream that you want to be trying to do. One stream, multiple segments, and then you get 1 or more video out of every segment of the stream. This is like the most efficient use of your time when you're streaming. You always got to be thinking, how am I going to get the most value for my content out of the stream? And then, from the long form content, maybe you get like 1 or 2 clips out of each video as well. Like, you take the best couple of minutes out of each video, and you make a clip out of that. And then you've got your short form covered as well. You post that on TikTok, you post that on YouTube Shorts, you post that on Instagram Reels. It's like you're trying to make life as easy for yourself as possible. Because it's way, way, way more time efficient, idea efficient, content efficient to be taking one idea, turning it into multiple videos, turning it into multiple short form clips. Next up, we're going to talk about video editing. Video editing, this picture here, this is the logo for DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve is my favorite video editing software. It is free, it is extremely easy to learn, I learned how to use DaVinci Resolve after like watching maybe one tutorial video that was like maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours, but you could like skim through it a little bit. I would say you could learn the basics of using DaVinci Resolve within like 30 to 60 minutes, easy. All you really need to know about video editing, these are the main things you need to learn. You gotta learn how to cut up videos. This is really, really easy. All cutting up videos is removing the parts of the video that you don't want, getting rid of them, shortening the video into the best parts. That is what cutting up the video is. Very, very easy to learn. It'll take you like 2 seconds to learn how to do that. Then, you want to learn how to insert pictures, videos, text, and audio into your streams. This is very, very easy to learn. Watch one tutorial about how to do this. It'll take you like 5 minutes to learn this. And then finally, you want to learn picture manipulation, which is basically just like cropping, zooming, slowing down, speeding up. These are like slightly more advanced things, but again, it will not take you very long to learn this stuff, and it can add a lot to a video. And then everything else that you want to learn, there's like a million tiny little niche things that you can learn how to do, but like these are the main things you need. Everything else, it just kind of comes down to personal style. Some people's personal styles with their videos is that they like put a lot of stuff in, they do a lot of like hard edits that are very noticeable to people. Other people's styles is that they like make it as not obvious, they make it as subtle as possible, to the point where like the editing is almost not noticeable. Sometimes people want to like add like very intense music, some people like very chill music. It's just kind of like whatever you want. Everything is style. But these are the main 3 things that I think everybody needs to learn with their video editing. Next up, we're going to talk about the benefits of having multiple YouTube channels. Most big creators who post on YouTube, if they're good at YouTube, they probably have multiple YouTube channels. The main benefits of having multiple YouTube channels is that it's really good for planning content, because you can be like, oh, I'm going to do this thing and this different thing. I don't really want to put these on the same channel because they're very different, so I'm going to put them on multiple channels. I'm going to split them in between the 2 channels. And it's going to make it a lot easier for you to do the ideation phase that we talked about earlier. Secondly, is it's really good for the algorithm. The main reason that it's good for the algorithm is because if you are consistently posting one type of content, let's say you're posting like hour-long YouTube Let's Plays, gaming Let's Plays, okay? If you post like, consistently post that sort of content, and then you randomly post like a cooking video, YouTube is probably not going to push it as much because it's very different to what the people who normally watch your videos are going to watch. So it might just not promote it as much. So you might if you're really passionate about cooking and gaming, and you know that you want to make a lot of gaming content, but you also want to make a lot of cooking content, you probably want to put the cooking stuff on a separate channel, because then the algorithm will promote that more. Here is different ways you can split the channels that you have, okay? There's 4 different ways that you can split your channels, depending on how you want to do. There is no like right way about doing this, it's kind of just what you want to do based on your content. So number 1 is splitting for the genre of content. And you can see that up here with these on the top left picture. This is the game theorists. This is MatPat, for anyone that doesn't know. So these are their 4 main channels. They actually have 5 channels, but these are the 4 main ones. So they do gaming, movies and TV, cooking, fashion. Different genres, different channels. Because like you might really like gaming, but you might not care about fashion. So like you're gonna watch the gaming channel, but you don't have to watch the fashion stuff. But if it was all on one channel, it's going to impact the algorithm because people are going to be watching some videos but not other videos. Secondly, you can do split for the type of content that you want to do. A really good example of this is Ludwig. What he does on his main channel, he posts once a week on his main channel. It's a lot more highly edited, it's a lot more highly produced, and so it takes longer, but it's like higher quality. So he posts once a week on that. And then his second channel, Ludwin, is like highlight content. It's stuff that's like a little bit sloppier, it's a little bit easier to make, it's usually shorter because it's like the best bits of his content. So sometimes he'll make a video for the main channel that's like 40 minutes, and then he'll have like a 20-minute video about the same thing, but it's just like the best bits, it's the highlights. And then thirdly, you can do main channel versus fun channel. The best example that I could find of this is Giguk. He makes anime content. I'm a big fan of him. On his main channel, he makes a lot of like video essay type stuff. Again, stuff that takes a lot of like time and effort, is very highly produced, highly edited. And then on his other channel, Gant, which is his real name, he posts like more fun stuff. He posts like tier lists, he posts like react content, stuff that's like more fun, easier, stuff that's a little bit more sloppy, a little bit like easier, more fun to make. Just to give him a little bit of a break, because if he's always working on like stuff that's harder to make, takes more time, takes more effort, he's probably going to burn out. So he's going to like post a couple things on the main channel, and then he's probably going to reward himself with some easier, fun content that still gets him some views. And then finally, solo versus collab. So like what a lot of people do, here is one example, there is a lot of examples of this, but Eddie Burback, he makes a lot of videos on his main channel, and then on his second channel he makes videos with his brother, and they make different types of videos. So he has one channel for himself and one channel that's a collab with his brother. Another example of this is like Jason the Ween or Adapt or anybody anybody in the core who was like X-Phase, now they're core. Like Jason actually has like 5 different channels because he's kind of weird like that. I think he's gonna change how he does his channels, but he has like his personal stuff, and then he's also got the core channel which he posts on with the other boys like Lacey, Adapt, whoever else is in core. There's like 5 of them. But yeah. So there's like different, just think about what works the best for you. There's like all these different ways that you can split your content. Next up, we're going to talk about thumbnails. Thumbnails are extremely important. Thumbnails is probably the biggest thing about how you package your content, package your YouTube videos. Thumbnails, the main things that you're going to want to think about are making it simple. You don't want to add too much detail because like, especially on phone or on laptop, like thumbnails are not very big. They're literally like this big. So if you have too much detail, a lot of it is going to be missed. So you kind of just want to keep like the main parts of it. Secondly, you want to be eye-catching. Obviously, you can do stuff like add big arrows or like big sort of like big like creatures or like things that sort of stand out, things that look different than other videos that are going to happen. And just so like it's when people are scrolling through quickly, it catches their eye, they go, "Oh, this looks interesting," they click on it. And then you want it to be identifiable to your brand. And so the way, as you can see, the way that a lot of people do this is like if they're a well-known YouTuber like the Sidemen, they'll put their faces because then people go, "Oh, I recognize that guy, that's Vicstar. This must be a Sidemen video, I'm going to watch it." Or they'll be like, "Oh, this is Jinxie Queso. Oh, I know those guys. I like watching those guys. I'm gonna watch this video." You can also do this with like symbols. Like if you want to put like your channel logo on the thumbnail, like in the corner, you can do that. Like Offline TV does that for a lot of their videos. I do that in my thumbnails. You can also do that with colors. Like you may see with a lot of my thumbnails, I use like this green color. I use mostly like this color of green and also black and white. That's like my main colors for my thumbnails. Like whatever sort of brand color you want to do, you can do that for yours. And now these are some good ways to test if your thumbnail is good. Number 1 is A/B testing. If anyone doesn't know what A/B testing is, it is a thing that you can do on YouTube where you make 2 thumbnails, you submit it to YouTube, and YouTube will tell you which one is more likely to get clicked on. And then another way that you can do this is the Michael Reeves test. For anyone, Ludwig talked a little bit about this in his Streaming University class. For anyone that doesn't know, Michael Reeves is a very big YouTuber, and the way that he tests if his thumbnails are good is he blurs his eyes a little bit. If you like, right now, as you're watching, like if you blur your eyes a little bit, you go a little bit cross-eyed, so that things are like a little bit blurry, but you can still sort of see things. Look at these thumbnails. Blur your eyes. What sort of stuff do you see? For this top one, you'll probably still see the white guy, you'll probably see the faces. You may not be able to tell who they are, but like you'll see some faces. You might be able to be like, "Oh, these guys are like shocked a little bit." You'll see the Mecha Chameleon guy, you might see like the Mona Lisa, the arrow. It's like you'll only see the most eye-catching stuff, because as you're scrolling through, usually don't look at one particular video for too long. So they just look at the main bits, they look at the bits that stick out. Next up, titles and descriptions. Titles, again, you want to make them sound interesting. You want to use keywords. If you can use words that are like, how do you describe what a keyword is? It's like a word that people are going to look at and they're going to immediately know what it means. It's going to immediately signify a specific thing. You know, if you talk about Minecraft, you talk about like speed running, like these are terms, these are keywords that people recognize, they immediately know what these things mean. You want to try and, in a title, you want to try and use as many of these as possible. It's better for people knowing what the video is about. It's better for the algorithm, because the algorithm will know exactly how to promote the video. And then also, again, this is another thing that Ludwig mentioned, if you can't think of a title, steal it. If you are unsure what to do, what to title a video that you make, if you look up what other people are titling their videos about a similar topic, you can always sort of steal it, yoink and twist it, change it a little bit to obviously not be exactly the same, but like keep the same sort of framework. Again, with descriptions, use keywords. A lot of people don't know this about descriptions, but like if you write in the if you put like a little summary about what the YouTube video is in the description and you use a lot of keywords, just like the title, that helps the YouTube algorithm promote the video. So if you put as many keywords as possible, YouTube will be like, oh, okay, I'm going to promote this to everybody who likes this thing, everybody that likes this thing. It's gonna help them. If you don't put anything in the description, or you put like really boring stuff, it's not gonna get pushed as much. Timestamps are really helpful, especially for longer videos, especially for podcasts, or videos that have a lot of different stuff in them, just to help people separate, like, in this part of the video I talk about this thing, in this part of the video I talk about this thing, or in this part of the video I do this specific thing. It's very helpful, because if people click on a video and they're expecting one thing, and maybe you're not talking about that thing here, but you talk about it in a different video, if you don't have any timestamps, people aren't going to know where the part of the video is that you talk about the thing that they want to hear, so they're just going to click off the video. But if you have timestamps and you say, oh, I'm talking about this specific thing here, people are going to go, oh, okay, this is the part of the video that I want to get to. So they might skip to that part of the video, which, you know, isn't as good as them watching the whole video, but it's better than them completely clicking off the video. You'll still retain you'll retain more views and more watch time than if you don't have a timestamp. And then also in the description, you want to put the links to all of your other socials, all of your other channels. That is where those go. Because then in your video, when you go, oh, by the way, guys, I also do streaming, I also do TikTok, people are going to be like, oh, cool. Where do I go to do that? And so most people aren't going to take the effort to go to Twitch and look up your name, or go to TikTok and look up your name. But if they scroll down into the description, they can just click on the link and it's immediately there. It just makes it easier. This is an example of one of my descriptions of one of my videos. I believe this was the Minesweeper video that I did. Because that was a very long video, I was like, oh, I should put timestamps in this, because people are gonna want to know specific things. So like people who don't know Minesweeper, they might watch this bit because they want to learn how to do it, like how I was learning the basics. People might want to see me PvPing Jonathan. People might want to, or like if they're already familiar with Minesweeper, they might just want to see me playing the game and just doing PvP and stuff. And then these are obviously all my links. You can literally, like, these don't look like clickable links, but these are actually clickable links in the video. Or even if they're not clickable links, you can just like copy and paste it into the search bar and it's still very easy. So like that is kind of what you want your descriptions to look like. For the video intros, I'm not going to go too deep into this because I think Ludwig talked about this really well. Here is the link to the part of the video that he explains this sort of stuff. But I just thought it was really interesting, so I'm just gonna briefly touch on it. He talks about the 4 Ps, which is basically within the first like 30 to 60 seconds of your video, these are the 4 things that you want to touch on, okay? You want to touch on the premise of the video, which is just like, what are you doing in this video? Why should people watch? The problem, which is like, oh, how am I going to overcome this challenge? The plug, which is like you plugging all of your other stuff. So like for me, that would be like my Twitch or my TikTok or whatever. And then the payoff doesn't need to be at the start of the video. The payoff is usually in the middle or at the end. But the payoff is just like how you overcome the problem. But you wanna at least tease the payoff at the start of the video. You want to be like, oh, how am I gonna overcome this thing? Find out at the end. That's the best way to do it. But yeah, if you wanna hear more about this, this is the video to watch. He also just made another video where he sort of condensed all of his Streaming University videos into one thing. So I would recommend going to watch this after the stream is done, or after you finish watching this video. Now we're going to briefly touch on short form content. Short form content. The algorithm loves short form content. The short form content is the thing that all of the algorithms want to push the most right now, because it makes the platforms the most money. And it can make the creators the most money if you do it properly. So even if you don't want to make short form content, you kind of need to make short form content, because that is the thing that is going to get you the most new eyes on your content. There are 2 different types of short form content that you can make. You can make clips. Clips are literally just like you take a 30 to 60 second chunk out of your stream or out of your video and you post that, and that is easy. That's it. That's as easy as it is. It's like the easiest way to do short form content. Anybody that's streaming, you need to be doing clips. Even if you're making YouTube videos, I would also recommend you use clips. It's very, very easy, and it gets a lot of eyes on you. It's the easiest way to do short form content. And the good thing about clipping on Twitch is that it's extremely easy now, because they just introduced voice activated clipping. So for me right now, as I'm streaming, if I go Twitch clip that, it just made a clip of the last 30 seconds of stream. So that's really, really easy to do if you're in the middle of gaming and something happens and you don't want to like take the time to like go off and click on the thing that does the clipping. You can just be like, Twitch clip that, and then it automatically does it, and then you can just look at it later. They literally just introduced this within the last like week or so. So it's very, very, very good. And secondly, once you get big enough, you won't even have to do your own clipping, because viewers who like your content, who watch your content, will probably clip for you. This is especially true, like, as you get bigger, you will have more people clipping you, for better or worse. But yeah, so that kind of takes the clipping out of your hands, because then you can, after a stream, you can just look at the clips tab on Twitch, and you can go through and be like, oh yeah, that was a good clip, I'm gonna post those. And then the other type of short form content that you make is original short form content. This is anything that's not a clip that you're posting on like short form content. So like any original TikToks that you make, any original YouTube shorts that you make, any original reels that you make. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of these ones. I find, out of anything, I find posting original content on TikTok the hardest thing to do. Because, like, I can easily stream, I can easily record, like, a gaming video, a reaction video, whatever. But on TikTok, I find it's just, like, it doesn't blend well with my brain. I don't like it. But I still think it's worth doing if possible. If you can't think of any ideas to do it, if you can't think of any ideas about what to post, if you feel comfortable, like, obviously TikTok was originally a music app, and so dancing still does extremely well on there. Like a lot of like the mainstream trends still are like dancing trends. I personally am not super comfortable dancing on TikTok, so I don't make this sort of content, but like if you are, you can. Also like storytelling, if you have something to talk, like storytelling / ranting, if you have like a funny little story that'll take like 30 seconds to 2 minutes to talk about, that can be a good thing to post. Or if you just like, if you're really annoyed about something and you think that you can rant about it for like a couple of minutes, that's also something that tends to do pretty well. But yeah, and also, again, with the titles and stuff, if you can't think of anything, just copy other people, steal it. TikTok is built on building on other people's trends and things. If you look at like what a bunch of big TikTok creators are doing and you look at their content, you could probably do the exact same thing and get like half the views, which is pretty good. So yeah, I'm not really the short form person. I can do, like, I know clips, but I don't really know original short form, but, like, there's definitely other people who can talk more about that, but I'm just giving my little 2 cents on it. And now, finally, we are in the final section of the lecture. What do I do once I start gaining traction? Like I said earlier, you can define gaining traction as whatever you want to define it as. Personally, I define it as, like, you make a little bit of money off it, or, like, you're starting to make money off it, and maybe you're starting to think about potentially doing it full-time. We're going to talk about hitting Twitch affiliate, because when you hit Twitch affiliate status, you get access to a bunch of new things. Number one, you get access to subs. People can give you subs, they can give you, which is basically just them giving you money. People, this should be subs/bits, actually, because on Twitch there is 2 different ways that people can directly give you money. Bits is like smaller amounts of money. I don't know exactly how much 1 bit costs, but it's like maybe 5 cents or something for a bit, or like something around that. But that's for, like, smaller amounts of money. That's just for people to be like, hey, I really like your content, whatever, here's a little bit of money. Whereas subs are, like, bigger. Subs is more expensive, it gives you more money. It also gives the people who sub specific rewards. And subs are... you can only have 1 sub per person per month. So what people do normally is they will subscribe to you, which gives them specific rewards, and then if they want to give you more subs, they can gift subs to other people, which gives you money and gives other people in your chat the same rewards. So that's really, really good. But the most important thing with subs is that you need to give people a reason to sub. Because, like, some people will sub just because they like you, but, like, if you give people reasons to subs, if you give them tangible rewards that they get when they sub, they're more likely to sub, obviously. And so one of these rewards is ads. I've never watched an ads and it felt great. Exactly. Jonathan has been subscribed to me since the fucking minute that I hit affiliate status. I think my first ever affiliate stream, he, like, immediately subscribed. And he has been subscribed since, so it's been, like, over a year, almost 2 years now, I think. Now, another thing that you get on Twitch when you hit affiliate is that ads will immediately start playing on your stream. And there's a couple of things you need to think about with these ads. Number one is that the more ads you have on the stream, the more money you're gonna get. But also, the more ads that you have on the stream, the more annoying it is for viewers. So you have to balance that. Do you want to be making more money, or do you want your viewers to have a better experience watching your stream? Personally, I value my viewers having a good time more than money, so I have the minimum amount of ads on my stream. You cannot have less than 3 minutes of ads on stream, because if you have less than 3 minutes, it gives you pre-rolls, which a lot of people find more annoying than just 3 hours of ads per hour. There is unfortunately no way to completely get rid of ads on your stream. Until you hit partner, which is, like, a lot harder than hitting affiliate. The thing about subs is that subs do not watch ads. If somebody is subscribed to you, they do not watch ads, which is worth a lot to people. Especially, this is also why with bigger streamers tend to run more ads because more people are subscribed to them. A larger percentage of their audience is subscribed, so less people have to deal with their large amounts of ads. But it's just like, it's a balance that you need to strike. It's completely up to you. But that is a reward that subs get. That is an automatic thing that you don't really have to do much about. Is that if someone subscribes to you, they do not have to watch ads. Cool emotes, exactly. That's another thing I was going to talk about. Emotes. Subs get access to emotes. What emotes are is they are just fun little pictures that are unique to your community that people can use to express themselves in chat. Jonathan has just shown all of the emotes that we currently have. Jonathan actually created one of these emotes, the Chad one down the bottom there. He actually drew that one. The other ones are created by me. Because the thing with emotes, I know it's like when you get the chance to have emotes, I know you're gonna want to make them really, really good, and you're gonna want to get them done professionally. But unfortunately, it's very, very expensive to get emotes done professionally. So the best thing that you can do, even if you're really, really shitty at art like I am, just make them yourself. Literally hop on Microsoft Paint, make a funny little emote, whatever. It doesn't have to be high quality, it just has to be something. Because it gives people more of a reason to subscribe to you. And finally, VIP. VIP is not as important as these other things. it doesn't really do anything, it's just for fun. But if you look in chat, if you look at the biggest man, he has a little VIP thing around him. All that means, I just give it to people who often watch my streams and who I talk to in chat a lot. It's just like a fun little thing. It just makes them stand out in chat, so that way if they message, you're more likely to see their message amongst everybody else. So yeah, that's just like a fun little thing to do. But these first three are much more important. Now, we're going to talk about networking. Networking is very, very, very important. And here are some keys to networking. Firstly, find people that you genuinely like watching. Don't network and try and collab with people who you don't like the content of. Because if you don't like watching their content, you're not going to enjoy being a part of their content. So try and find the people who you like watching. Secondly, the value of the collab has to go both ways. The value of the collab has to go both ways. You have to be gaining value from the collab, and the other person also has to be gaining value from the collab. This is why you usually collab with people who are the same size as you, or if somebody is bigger, if somebody has more of a community than the other person, the person with more community might just be doing it out of the kindness of their own heart, but like, usually you want it to be... You want them to be gaining something out of it as well, just to make it equal. Just to make it worth their time and their effort, you know? Thirdly, make it easy and fun for them. People are more likely to collab with you if you do most of the work with the organization. Luckily for me, I'm really good at organization, so this is easy for me. If you text someone, or if you DM someone, and you go like, hey, I want to collab with you, let's collab. And they're like, okay, what are we doing? It's like, it's going to make it a lot hard. They're probably not going to end up collabing with you. But if you approach them and you go like, hey, I really like your content, I want to collab with you, I'm thinking that we do this. All you have to do is show up, I'm going to organize everything for you. Then that's really easy. And then they're more likely to collab. Next, here are the pros of networking and collabing. Number one, it's easier to come up with ideas with another person. It's easier to make ideas when there are multiple people doing the content, because you can just do more. There is a limited amount of things that you can do by yourself, but you can do infinitely more ideas with two people. Literally anything can be elevated by having a second person involved. Next up, marketing. It is easier to market a collab than it is to market a solo project. If you're collabing with someone who has their own community, you can go, oh, today me and this other person are doing this big thing together. And then all of the people who like you, and all of the people who like them, and all of the people who have never heard of you are going to go, oh, this looks like a cool, fun thing. I'm going to watch that. It's much easier to market something with two people, or multiple people, than a solo project. Third up, you have the potential to make a new friend, like a new IRL friend, through collabing. If you collab with someone just because you like watching them, you're going to collab, you're going to hang out with them, you might actually gain like a new real-life friend, and that's cool, and that's fun. Now, the cons of collabing with people. Logistics. It is harder to organize something with another person than it is to organize something with just yourself. Right? Even if you think about this outside of content creation, it's a lot easier for you to wake up and go, oh, I'm going to go to the movies today. I'm going to watch the new Spider-Man movie at 3 p.m. today. Easy peasy. I'm going to go walk over there. I'm going to drive over there by myself. Easy peasy. I don't have to like think about it too much. If you're going with another person, or you're going with 3 people or 5 people, it makes it much, much harder to organize what you're doing, how you're doing it, when you're doing it. Right? It's the same with content creation. So that's just something to think about. You have to be really good at organizing. Secondly, sharing revenue. Sharing revenue can be tricky. It's really important to discuss with the other person how you're going to share any sort of revenue that you gain from the collab with each other. It's very easy to do like a 50-50 split, or you can do it like however you want to do it. But you have to mutually decide how you're going to do it. I would also recommend getting it in writing. It doesn't have to be like a formal contract, but if you just like are texting each other, make sure it's like in the text, maybe screenshot it, like just to be covered. But that's another thing to think about. Here is a real life example of me collabing with someone recently. This is a collab that has not happened yet, but this is me texting, this is me reaching out to this person, trying to see if they're interested in collabing. So as you can see, I go, hey dude, I really like your content, I've been seeing it a bunch lately, it's really good. So like start with a compliment, that's very easy, but start with a genuine compliment. And then I go, he doesn't do content as his like main thing, so I was just saying like, hey, I know you're probably not trying to do it full time, but like if you want to do a collab, that would be cool. So like that doesn't really matter. And then I say, I'm also in Melbourne, so it would be really easy to meet up and record some stuff. Show how easy it's going to be for them, okay? We both live in the same place, so it's going to be easy to meet up at a mutual location and film. Alright, and then I also say, I've already come up with some ideas. And so that means he goes, oh, okay, super duper easy, he's already done 90% of the work, all I have to do is show up and be in the things. And then as you can see, he responded like only a couple of hours later. He was like, yeah man, let's fucking do it, like, let me hear these ideas. And then I share some of the ideas. I had like 3 or 4 different ideas for like YouTube videos and TikToks, and then you can't see underneath here, but he goes, yeah, that sounds really good, let's do it. Easy as that. Compliment, make it easy for them, come up with the ideas. Easy. And then finally, we're going to talk about avoiding controversy. Staying in the thumbs up zone. Number 1, haters. This is a little math problem for you, okay? A little math equation for you. The number of haters that you have directly correlates with the number of fans that you have. If you have less fans, you're more likely to have less haters. If you're a big creator with a lot of fans, the proportion of haters that you have also tends to grow. When more people are aware of you, there are going to be more people who like you, but also more people who don't like you. Pretty simple. Now, there are some things that you can do to limit the amount of people that don't like you and increase the number of people that do like you, or at least the number of people who are neutral about you. Number 1, be a good person. If you are genuinely not doing anything wrong, you're going to have less people that hate you. You're obviously going to have a lot more people that don't like you if you're like a criminal, or you're doing some shady shit, or you're like just like treating people badly. Like I think that's pretty simple, that's pretty obvious. Just try and be a good person. The most people that get cancelled or like get in trouble are people who are genuinely doing crimes. Like how many people have been cancelled because they're like pedophiles, because they're like violent, like they beat up their partner or whatever, like, or just like they're bad people and they're mean to their staff, or they're mean to their friends or collaborators or whatever. If you don't do that, it's a lot easier to not be hated. Number 2, PR train yourself. And what I mean by this doesn't mean like make fake answers to things, or like lie to people about your opinions on stuff. That's not what I mean. What I mean by this is that think about how you're going to respond if you get asked about controversial topics, okay? If somebody asks you about like abortion, or asks you your opinion on like whatever drama or something that is happening, make sure that you have your position already set up in your mind, and then stick to that position. Train yourself to talk about controversial things in a way that is like less likely to get you in trouble, okay? Just be very aware of everything that you're saying when talking about controversial topics, because people will take anything and they will make it a lot bigger than it is, so you need to be very, very careful about what you're saying. Next, don't be reactive. What I mean by this is that if somebody says something mean to you, or something bad happens, don't react to it immediately, if possible. Don't react to something when you're in a heightened emotional state. If you see a hate comment and you want to, like, if you see a hate comment on one of your YouTube videos, it's really, really tempting to reply to it immediately and go, fuck you, like, shut the fuck up, you don't know anything, whatever. But you need to, like, take a breath, take a second, be like, alright, this is probably posted by, like, a 12-year-old who doesn't really know anything. Be careful about how you respond to stuff. And this is also even more true with streaming. Because, like, if somebody is being rude in chat, or, like, says something annoying in chat, your cortisol's gonna spike a little bit. You're gonna, like, immediately get more stressed. You're gonna immediately get a little bit angry sometimes. But if you immediately lash out at them, that's a bad look. And then if you say something that you regret and it gets caught on stream, there's no way to get rid of it, you know? People have already seen it. People are going to clip that. People are going to post that and be like, oh my god, like, da-da-da streamer yelled at their fan or whatever. And then that's going to look bad. So it's like you just got to take a breath sometimes, lower your emotional state, and just chill a little bit, and then respond calmly. And sometimes you don't even need to respond. Sometimes you can just fully ignore it. Not everything needs to be responded to. That's another thing. Next up, if you do something genuinely bad that needs to be apologized for, apologize, give a genuine, real good apology where you actually, like, take accountability, actually, like, say what you did wrong, say how you are going to do better, and then move on. It can be really tempting when you do something wrong to, like, go over it over and over and over just to make sure people understand. But, like, all you really need to do is give one good apology. It's, like, out there, people see it, and then you move on. That's all you gotta do. Because the more you apologize about it, the more people are gonna, like, keep ragging on you about it. So you just apologize once, make sure it's a good apology, and then you move on. And that's it. That's everything. That is a full university class right there. 2 hours. Holy.